Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be diving into a topic that's been on my mind for the past couple of days, but as of a couple hours ago is very much topical. Chess has been brought up in popularity in recent years. But what happens when real-world lives turn into the pawns on a global scale? Recent escalation in military tensions is causing more than just diplomatic headaches. Imagine waking up to the news that US and Iraqi forces are tearing each other apart. Our government's fingers seem to be in far too many pies, playing a game of high-stakes whack-a-mole with a twist. Instead of arcade hammers, we're talking about drones and explosions. Just today, the US retaliated against Iranian proxy groups in Iraq, annihilating 3 facilities after an earlier attack injured American service members. These facilities have been thorns in the side of American and coalition troops, causing ongoing concerns, so they had to be dealt with. But me personally, I am so tired of foreign wars in my name, because at the end of the day, I know that eventually I'm going to be drafted for some dumb purpose. We're going to be put into a war where I'm going to die on a battlefield and nobody's going to care. You know, the classic battle of escalation. Who can blow up more stuff? But this isn't a game. Every explosion could be the start or end of somebody's story. I often wonder if my generation will just become cannon fodder, if we're just future pawns in a never-ending chess game of global powers. Like, seriously, imagine that. The thought haunts me. I hate the thought of a war that devastates the population. So imagine it. World War III starts over, one person killing another person in the wrong place at the wrong time. And then bam, the government reinstates selective service. In the digital age, doesn't matter. Everyone in the US ages 18 to 25 gets swept up in an instant. Think about it. Most of you are probably registered, perhaps without even a second thought. And with today's tech, it's kinda terrifying how much they know about you, specifically. Our gaming habits, social media profiles, our online footprint is accessible by anybody. Your skills, your strengths, your weaknesses, they're all filed away. It's crazy that a simple subpoena could turn your favorite video game developer into a scout for Uncle Sam. Your leaderboard score overnight might just decide your fate. And if you think they're not collecting data on you, you're just lying to yourself, man. Most of them would roll over like dogs, showing their belly. I'm tired of the endless war. I'm tired of people fighting. I'm tired of people dying. The big rumor is right now that Iran has increased its uranium enrichment to 60%, which is a lot more than what they had before. It means the US thinks that Iran has enough enriched uranium for several nuclear bombs. So therefore, further reason for them to be there and justifying endless war and bloodshed. Like, on a very real note, there was just a huge warship that was just blown up by Ukraine, and the US just last week sent them F-16s, and they used them to do exactly what they were built for. I fear that this is just going to make things worse. It's going to turn into a game of who can make the biggest thing blow up. It's going to turn into, oh, you really liked that AC-130 mission in Call of Duty? Here's a joystick. It's funny how many people say that games aren't training us to do exactly that. I think the biggest problem is most people, they don't even think that that's a possibility. I find it real funny that I'm talking about all of this while playing Call of Duty. Arguably one of the worst offenders of this. But I'm very serious about this. My entire life has been nothing but the US starting and getting into wars and blowing shit up. And I'm not saying that I don't like a good explosion, but I also don't like the repercussions of where that leads. Where my default as an American is known as a warmonger. You ask people all over the country, they'll say, oh, America's good, America's great. You ask people abroad, and they say a very different story. I want to be proud to be an American. Growing up, I remember 4th of July being my favorite time of the year. So proud to be an American. So proud of my country. Every year we'd celebrate that. It was only as I went through high school and learned about history and everything that went on that I felt lied to. I felt cheated. I felt like everything I watched on TV, All the news broadcasts, everything that I had gone through up to that point was just a lie. And then it hit me. Why would the news or anybody have my best interest at heart when their bottom line is to make money? And to make money, people need to have something controversial happen, or it needs to be quite literally bleeding. That was one thing my broadcast journalism teacher could not emphasize enough, was that it bleeds, it will lead every single time. And that's why social media has gotten so polarizing, is that the more controversial it is, the more it will go viral. If there's any message that needs to be said right now, it's that we need something unifying. Something that we can talk about across the board that will live in the cultural zeitgeist. Like in the early 2000s, you'd hear people talking about TV shows. You'd hear people talking about the news. Now it's nothing. People don't talk to each other anymore. And you and I both know it's because, as the saying goes, the less you say now, the less you have to apologize for later. I feel like every serious situation can actually just be resolved if people would actually just talk to each other. If you look at a lot of relationships, they end because of a lack of honesty. Whether it be your partner lying to you or you lying to yourself that you actually thought that something was there. You enjoyed the thought of not being so alone, and you thought that maybe that would be the thing that would hold you together. But it's not. I think we have to be self-sufficient. I think we have to learn to care about ourselves first. It's just like getting on a plane. They always tell you that you have to take care of your mask before you take care of anybody else. You have to be secure in yourself before you can help anybody else. And it's the same thing with relationships. If you're not happy with yourself, you're just gonna make somebody else miserable. On a more serious note though, if you are not happy with yourself, you gotta find something that you can do. Something that maybe even if you're not the best at. Like me playing Call of Duty. I'm not good at the game, but I like playing it. You gotta find something that brings you at least a little bit of semblance of peace. Like all of these worries, all of these issues at the beginning of this video that I've been talking about, they're very real. But is there a single thing that I can realistically do about the situation that the US is in as a whole? No, I'm just one dude. That's it. The only thing I can do right now is feel secure in myself. I need to make sure that I can survive the sinking ship that is my own life before I can do anything else. And I hope that you can do the same thing for yourself. Everybody wants to feel safe and secure at home. Everybody wants to feel that security of, you can maybe go outside at night. I don't know whether to laugh or cry, knowing that the world is ending, that we're in the last days. Like, in all reality, this is the scariest and most dangerous time we've ever lived in. I just hope that all of you will stay on this journey with me. Life feels shorter and shorter the longer you live, so we might as well make the best of it. And you know what? I think that's all I have in me for today. Life is crazy. Things can change in an instant. Stay safe out there, and have a good day. This is Warm Sponge signing out.